Hey YouTube, what's good today? This is Souffle Art, and today I want to look at modifying a clover cube. So, a while back I ended up with two of these little ivy cubes. Did I call it a clover cube originally? Two of the ivy cubes. And I decided I wanted to try some original mods, come up with something myself, rather than just duplicating the mods that I had seen other people do that I enjoyed. I want to do something for myself here. So I was really excited to discover that when I took apart the cube, they have the complete outside of the cube. All the pieces that face you on the cube come off. And underneath you have all these extra cubes, all these extra little pieces here. Let's take a look at the core there real quick. And you'll notice that everything in it, all the little feet on the pieces here, are completely self-contained to this surface level. The exception being the corners, because it's pretty much all surface level. So what that means from a modification standpoint is that I can extend just infinitely out, doesn't matter. All the pieces that connect are already in this sphere. So I can extend this as far out as I want to with no problems, or I can cut this as far down as to the outside of this sphere with no problems. Note that the foot on these kind of center pieces, the foot, there's a top foot, a perpendicular middle foot, and you should consider the actual centerpiece itself the true bottom foot, horizontal, going this way, because it's between the top and the true bottom foot that these little triangular sphere corners connect. So I can cut up to that point, but I need at least this little strip on the sides. It needs to be at least like this. Anything else is fair game. And with that, we're gonna get started trimming this up, putting some shape on it. But before we modify it, let's look at what we can do with this cool little piece here. Alright, first things first, Loctite 406. I also have a little silicone here. Cube lube would work just as well. We're gonna get some silicone. We're gonna spread it along the paper with our pinky, just like the cavemen did it. Or, you know, the rest of our hands. Doesn't have to be your pinky. Your other fingers are gonna be fine for this. The goal here is going to be to take all of the pieces, and I'm going to glue them together in a way that we can use it as a hollowed out little box. Obviously, you're going to want to try and keep the edges as uniform and true to the original shape as possible, because if any part of this gets goofy, if any of it gets stuck or super glued in a weird position, that's on there forever. The extra time and effort to make sure things are aligned properly first will help you get a much better look in the end. The glue has had time to dry, and for the most part it was successful about peeling off the paper. You can see there's little schmutz, little dirt, wax paper got stuck on the red face, not on the orange. And it looks like it's a combination of don't use too much glue, try to use just enough to touch the two pieces of plastic. More glue bled out from the red side, and even though the silicone prevented glue from sticking to it, there was so much glue coming out that that part was able to get on the wax paper and make a mess. So, notes for the future. Now what we're going to do is turn this on the face, and I need to continue gluing the extra petals. So I'm going to start gluing the 1, 2, 3, 4 more petals, and then this box will almost be done. Alright, let's do that now. Okay, over here we've got the leftover box from our Ivy cube. I just added a little epoxy sculpt in the frame, and when you close it, that seems to keep it stable enough. I'm going to take off the outside of this little boat shape and give it more of this angular corner to introduce two colors to again complicate the solve on what was essentially a really simple cube to start with. And then on the center caps, I'm going to kind of sand this and give it a little smooth look. In between the corners and the center caps, I think this will look real nice with Alright, I believe some people are waiting to see some cubes. So we're going to get this guy out, because that's a real cube. And here is our Ivy box. You can see the sections which are glued in the opening there. Totally hollow inside. Maybe I can get the light just right. It's all painted black and hard to see, but it's hollow. You can just toss this lid on, and I think the little offset pattern makes it more believable. Like you actually have a cube sitting on your desk, even if it's just a box. It just kind of inspires the idea of motion. With that off to the side, we have the main event. I'm going to call this the Souffle Fox Cube. Well, we have these bi-pattern color stickers between the two lines here. I just got this stickered, so my head's still a little fuzzy on what everything's called and all that. But you got one color and two color, and that kind of makes a face. Well, you can rotate both the centers as well as, I guess that would be a corner, as well as the corners, and the edges can always stay true, but you can flip these and you can rotate these as you scramble it, which means you it's almost like a super cube sticker mod for this Ivy cube here. And the reason I'm calling it a Fox cube, I gave it colors like my little Souffle company mascot there. It's got the orange and the peach, and it kind of looks like you got two eyeballs, maybe a couple little ears sticking out. So this is the Souffle Fox cube. It's got a lot of other nice geometric shapes to it, and we're going to start scrambling it in a second. I still don't have my sticker cutter set up, so what I did to sticker this cube is I took some extra stickers I had off a Star Minx, and the extra kind of fat petals on those helped me adapt, and kind of plug them in here. You can see, I'm sure there's like little lines, and the petals on the ears are two pieces kind of stuck together and then cut. So it's a little Frankenstein kind of job on here, and this gets real colorful real fast. But being an Ivy cube, it's still not extremely difficult to solve, but this does. I think it looks like a real nice collection piece. The majority of work done on this guy was just kind of sanding all the edge pieces here, sanding all these to get a little conical shape. That allows you to get these 4 triangular stickers on. Sanding these, sanding those. This was actually a really low effort mod. Didn't take too much, and comes out real nice. This probably weighs half as much as an original Ivy cube does too, so it's extremely light and just kind of fun to hold and turn. So I'm excited to have this in my collection, and this is pretty much the first original design I've come up with, so I hope you all have enjoyed the Souffle Ivy Fox.